Not Nerd Podcast, episode 342, Stuck in a Loop. Welcome
to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello there, Nate. I've got no jokes. I've got no voices. From this point forward, it's just serious Dave.
Yes.
No hijinks. We're just going to play this straight today.
The platonic episode.
Yes. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think all of our listeners will appreciate me not making jokes of everything.
We are going to go NPR with this episode.
I will edit out all of the breaths.
Yes.
Because that's what they do. You do not hear any breathing on NPR.
Yes, indeed. Well.
That didn't last long.
Yeah.
I'm over it now. Okay, back to normal.
And I'll throw in some extra ums for you.
Yeah.
Well, let us talk technology before we get too far off the beaten path in our sweltering heat wave here.
Yes.
Elliot, it's been pretty warm here these last couple days, but we're going to get into cooler weather.
He wouldn't know anything about that.
Yes.
Living in Australia. It
Yes.
doesn't get hot there, I hear.
No, not at all. Well, some follow-up. So my pick of the week, last week, the Liteband that I said I was very excited about to find a use case. I had the perfect opportunity to use it this past Saturday night. I had the pleasure of DJing a wedding and got done with the reception. It was dark out. The ceremony area was kind of down this path. It was up in the hills at this separate area, no lighting at all down there. And I left my equipment from the ceremony down there, and I was like, guess what I've got in my car? My Liteband. So I put it on my head, turned it on. Everybody was amazed. They were cheering for me. I walked down, grabbed my equipment. In the past, I've used my phone camera, so it's like, can I get in my pocket just right to see where I'm going, or like hold it with all my stuff? But the Liteband, man, I reiterate, that is a 10 out of 10 product right there.
I thought maybe you went to a rave or something.
Oh,
like,
yes.
our leader.
Yes, it doesn't have a strobe mode, which kind of downs the party aspect of it.
It doesn't even do the 1-click bright, 2-click dim, 3-click flash.
It doesn't have the third click. It has the bright and the dim and the off.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
okay.
Anyways, iOS 16. So we've been talking about this. It'll be coming out in the fall. But something people have noticed, there is a new feature coming. iOS 16 will let iPhone users bypass CAPTCHAs in supported apps and websites. You know, those CAPTCHAs, finding the traffic lights, find the boats, the buses, all those
all you're doing
lovely
is
things.
Training Google's AI.
Yes.
That's all you're doing.
Yeah, so this will have a special token that will pass to the website if the website or app supports it. So Cloudflare and somebody else have already said that they're going to be a part of this. Now, Google might not do it. Now, Fastly was the other one. So I've built some websites, and there's been times where there's a lot of spam coming in or whatever. So I've looked at the CAPTCHAs. Google actually has, so there's the typical where you write something in or you do the pictures. They have, I believe it's their V3, version 3, where it doesn't show anything, and it just uses the data that it kind of already has, if you're a real user or not, to tell if you're real. So Google so you might be doing CAPTCHAs without even knowing it, which is the way it should be. But I'm excited for this in iOS 16, and hopefully a lot of people will pick this up, and the private access tokens will be able to bypass that.
The one that I used recently, you just have to username, password, and then you click I'm a human or whatever, but there's no craziness. I'm seeing more of that, where it's simply just checking a box, which seems kind of weird. Like, can a robot do that?
Exactly. It's so I think it's more because the way they work is they're looking at mouse movements. They're trying to figure out if you're a human. So you telling it that you're a human isn't necessarily the justifying factor on that. But the CAPTCHAs that are very annoying, like the text ones, I can never get right on the first try. It seems like no matter what, they're horrible user experience. So this seems to be a step in the right direction.
I agree.
Yes. This headline actually got a little chuckle out of me. Brave search grew by 5,000% in a year.
But wasn't it at 0 last year?
Yes. They're celebrating its first anniversary. They did say they've surpassed 2.5 billion with the B queries and seeing almost 5,000% growth in a year. So they went from 2 guys testing it to more people using it. So the 5,000% growth, like,
that is dumb. It should be 100% growth. It was not there, and now it's there.
Yes.
Next year you can measure the numbers.
Yeah.
But 0 to any number is 100%, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they said that in June of 21, they had 8.1 monthly queries. So I guess from the first month that it existed to May 22, which is the first or the last full month between the 12th month, they went up to 411.7 million. Now, I think I've tried it once or twice. I do not use Brave Search. Do you use it at all?
I've had all my browsers set to DuckDuckGo, and I don't think I've gone in there and chosen Brave. I just leave it on DuckDuckGo. Nothing's perfect, but I like the idea. I like to live in this fantasy land that Google isn't tracking my every move. And so by using an alternative browser, I can kind of cut them out of that piece. But of course, there's going to be tracking pixels and Facebook ad trackers and all that stuff. And it's all crazy. And we can talk a little bit more about browsers later. In a surprise.
We will do that. And speaking even more about browsers, Microsoft adds Xbox gaming feature. Sorry, that's a mouthful. Let me try again. Microsoft adds Xbox gaming features to Edge to get you to switch from Chrome, to which I say nobody's going to switch from Chrome just because they can game in the Edge browser.
Well, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
If they've got the Xbox gaming cloud thing and it works in the Edge browser but not Chrome, they might choose to do that.
It just, when I was reading this article, it gave me flashbacks of at some point in Windows 10, they started automatically installing like Xbox gaming as a default app, like even in the business versions and on business computers. And it was like one of those things you can't get rid of. So to me, it was a little triggering thinking that, they're just going to overtake your browser with gaming features. But that might not be the case.
I don't think so. It looks like they've just built in a bunch of enhancements. And the Xbox Cloud Gaming won't work on every browser. It has to be very specific ones. I don't know if it works on Chrome or not, but it seems like it's going to be a better experience on the Edge browser.
Yes, a Microsoft gaming platform on the Microsoft browser.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Makes sense. You know what else makes sense? And Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Well, I hope this makes sense. As the weather gets warmer, as we've discussed, at least in the northern hemisphere, all of you people down there in the southern hemisphere, it's going to start getting a little cooler down there. Here in the North America region of the planet, people are going to be out biking, they're going to be rock climbing, doing all kinds of stuff. Well, what happens when you're more active? You're liable to get hurt more often. And so I wanted to remind people or tell people, many people for the first time, how to enable medical ID on your iPhone. This is the feature that if you are knocked unconscious and first responder or Good Samaritan finds you, they can tap on your phone and there will be a medical ID button there, and they can access information about who you are and what medications you take, et cetera, et cetera. It's like having a card in your wallet, but anymore with like Apple Pay and all those things, most people just bring their phone and they leave all their identifying documentation at home. And we talked about the driver's license. 2 states support the driver's license in the wallet feature. As more and more states come on board with that, the smart device in your pocket is probably going to be the only thing that can attach you to medical help. So the first thing you have to do, and this is for iPhone, you go into the Health app. And you get into the Health app. It's the white square with a little heart on it. And then you tap your picture up in the corner. And if you have this set up already, it may look different, but there is a medical ID section. And when I tap mine, I already have it set up. It shows my age. It shows that I'm an organ donor. I have a check mark next to share my emergency calls on the lock screen. So that will identify who my emergency contact is if somebody grabs my phone. it shows my medical conditions, any medications I take, my height and weight, and then my emergency contacts, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll want to set this up if you want to participate in this feature. You just click the medical ID logo and go through the setup process, and it really couldn't be more simple. And I did find a link, an Apple support article that you can go to read more information. We can put it in the show notes, and it shows you explicitly how to do it. But I mean, it's about that easy. Open the app, tap on your profile picture, and click medical ID, and the rest it'll step you through the process.
Very nice. I did have mine set up, and I have my age, weight, height, and then I don't have any medical conditions, but under allergies and reactions, I did put in there, I don't like tomatoes. So if I'm unconscious, they will know that I do not like tomatoes.
They won't intravenously feed you mushed tomatoes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes.
I should think, I really do not like mustard. I might
put that in there. You never know. You never know.
Never know.
Very nice. That is a good one. A good, nice benefit that I really don't see any reason not to turn that on, especially if you do have, some health issues that it would be good for somebody to know about. And it reminds me of the little medical metal bracelets that we had as kids. I had one, and
what did yours say? Don't like tomatoes?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Only eats mac and cheese is what it would have said when I was a child. So. Very nice. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week. An article you found, and I think we've done some similar ones, but an iPhone survives 10 months underwater.
And this is crazy to me because iPhones of various vintages are rated for different conditions, whether they can be underwater for 3 meters or 9 meters or for how long, etc. For 10 months, that feels like it exceeds every IP rating that the phone would have. And so I'm actually quite impressed. I'm not exactly sure if the article says how deep the water was, but very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, and the picture they show where it looks like it was just pulled out of the water, I see that it is a single camera model phone, and then another picture I see it does not have a home button. So that's like an iPhone 10, which they've only kept increasing the water resistance on the phones. But yeah, he dried it out and powered it on and was able to get it back to the rightful owner, which is just crazy. If you happen to be in the Sun River, floating on the Sun River, and happen to find a phone, that would probably be my dad's. There's probably a couple of them down there. But if you do find that over there, please return that to us. So,
could you not have dived in the river, or was it kind of tumultuous in that area?
I don't think it was too bad, but he was by himself in a kayak, and I think and luckily, me being who I am, had an extra iPhone with me on our vacation.
I remember that story.
Yes, I had 2 extra iPhones. I gave one to him, and then my brother broke his or something, and I gave one to him. So always be prepared.
You're like the iPhone Santa Claus.
I am. Well, Dave, I know that you are a heavy user of Facebook Pay, but it is now
threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Rebranded to. Can you guess? Can you guess what maybe it was rebranded to from Facebook Pay?
Is it Meta something?
Meta Pay.
MetaPay.
Yes.
You meta pay me some money or I'm going to punch you.
Yes, but Mark Zuckerberg made a post about it, and he said his post is mainly focused on what the company hopes to build in the future, a wallet for the metaverse.
So I still cringe every time I hear the whole metaverse thing.
Yeah.
Is he really, does he just want to be Ready Player One? Did he just watch the movie, read the book, and it's like, I got to do this right now. It seems like it's just overnight he wanted to do this.
Yeah, no, it's, but yeah, and I think maybe I've used Facebook Pay once or twice in the past, like somebody on Messenger, I need to send them money, but
I've purchased games on my Oculus Quest, and so I'm sure I use Facebook Pay to do that.
Yes.
But it was just their back end thing. I didn't use any type of app to do it or anything like that.
And it sounds like this will be incorporating, wait for it, it'll be a lot like crypto wallets that hold NFTs, because that's what we do.
I'm so glad. Right at the low point of NFTs, they introduced this feature.
Yes. This paragraph, the wallet that Zuckerberg details is likely a ways off, especially if it's meant to be interoperable based on standards that don't exist yet.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yes, but Zuckerberg's all in on the metaverse, and we'll see if anybody joins him.
So far, I don't know anybody who's super excited about it, but I only know a limited number of people. So
true.
There we go.
True. And we might have a battle off here for most cringeworthy story of the day. Amazon has a plan to make Alexa mimic anyone's voice, and all the marketing around it has been that you could have a deceased family member talk to you through Alexa.
Who's doing their marketing? Because that's not how I would do it. And I think Ancestry.com, we talked about a story a couple years ago about how you could bring a dead loved one to life because their portrait would move around.
It would move that creepy boomerang thing.
And I think that people then said, we don't want this. This is creepy with bringing back dead people.
Yes.
And so to mimic someone's voice would probably be even more creepy because, you could see the photograph's fake. It's not like the person's standing there.
Yeah.
But if you hear someone's voice, it's just like they're behind you or something.
Yeah.
It's a little terrifying.
Yes. It says at one point in this Reuters article, Amazon shared its vision for companionship with Alexa at the conference. In a video segment, it portrayed a child who asked, Alexa, can Grandma finish reading me The Wizard of Oz? A moment later, Alexa affirmed the command and changed her voice. She spoke soothingly, less robotically, ostensibly sounding like the individual's grandmother in real life. Now, I think they say that they can use a 60-second voicemail or 60 seconds of voice to and it does say mimic. I don't think it's going to be recreate.
Okay, that is a difference. So if it's a grandmother, maybe the voice pitch is a little bit higher. It's a female.
Yeah.
And it has some of those characteristics of an older voice, maybe. So maybe they just kind of do it that way.
But
where they get close.
I don't know if I need my Alexa doing that for me. I
want to do your voice.
Yeah.
And I just want it to read me stories in your voice. The soothing, deep voice that you have.
For a reasonable fee, I will allow that to happen because you have zero access to my voice for hours and hundreds of hours over the last several years.
Well, they do have those tools that you can train.
Yes.
You just type the phrase.
And I tried one. I should go back and see if that service even still exists because I went through and I think we did the intro to the podcast maybe a couple years ago now through one of those things. So,
well, when we record, you're on your own track and I'm on my own track. We can just feed it all your tracks. We don't even have to edit anything.
Yeah, it's
just going to be your voice and nothing else for hours and hours.
Yeah, you don't need to recreate anything. Just listen to the podcast.
Well, there's that.
There's that. Well, our next story, I will remind people that we are the most nonpartisan podcast on the internet, but the Intel, not directly, it's not too partisan, but Intel delays ceremony for Ohio factory over lack of government funding.
So what does this mean exactly?
There's been all this talk about we need to make chips in the United States. And there was the CHIPS Act, aptly named.
And what did the CHIPS stand for? Probably something. Congress hates Intel partners seemingly.
Yeah, they didn't spell it out in the thing, so maybe they didn't even have anything. They just went.
Well, it's capitalized, so I think
California Highway Patrol, one of the best shows of the 80s, CHIPS.
Yeah.
Check it out. The CHIPS Act reserves $52 billion in funding for semiconductor companies, including Intel, to promote chip manufacturing in the United States. It has stalled in Congress, so Intel said they were going to make this factory, but now they're saying, hey, we're not going to do groundbreaking until we get any money from the government because they just want the money and they're interested in money, but they're not getting the money.
And they don't want to get
yet.
Stuck spending their own money.
Yeah.
For something that Congress came up with.
Yes. Yeah. So Kind of a bummer, and I think I read that whoever else had said that they were going to do one. They're kind of like, well, show me the money first before I get started on this, because that's what's important to us. Real-time follow-up. The CHIPS Act stands for Creating Helpful Incentives to Produce Semiconductors.
Wow, that's a stretch.
Yes.
That is a stretch.
Yeah, so it passed in January of 2021, but the funding package has not been approved by Congress.
Bravo to the congressperson's 12-year-old son or daughter who came up with that acronym. Yes. Bravo to them.
Oh my goodness. Well, a little security and privacy story, because what would an episode be without it? A lot more positive, you might say.
That's true.
From Comparatech.com, ransomware attacks on U.S. schools and colleges cost $3.56 billion with a B dollars in 2021.
Yeah, and downtime and lost productivity. Just think, if this problem didn't occur, they might be able to lower the price of tuition in some of these things.
Yeah, 67 individual ransomware attacks affected 954 schools and colleges, potentially impacting 950,129 students. That number is just for the downtime alone, so it's probably a lot higher than that as they try to actually get up and all the costs involved with getting things back to recovery. But yeah, that is pretty crazy that it's just, especially schools, that we should be educating, not fixing ransomware.
It looks like the state's hardest hit, according to this wonderful graph, and I'm just going off of color density here,
yes,
is Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. Oh, wait, that's not Massachusetts. What state is this here? This is why. Oh, New York. I'm sorry. Let me start that again. New York, Pennsylvania, Texas, Missouri, and California. Those are the big ones that are affected. And it's like 5, 7, 6.
Yeah.
It's 5. The rest are distributed among all the rest of the states, I assume.
Yes, and it looks like, I believe, Wyoming, North and South Dakota are the states, and Hawaii, that were not hit. The largest bubble I see on there would be Clark County School District in Nevada, and 328,991 students were affected in that one attack.
Yeah, the two maps, one is like the number of colleges, and the other one's the number of students. And that one in Florida, 269,469 students. And Elon Musk would have a heyday with that number.
Yes.
With all the 69s in there.
Yes.
But yeah, it's a problem, and man, I really hope that researchers and data scientists and all of those ilk would hurry up and just find solutions to make all this stuff secure. But do you think we'll ever get there, or do you think it'll always be a cat and mouse game?
Be an endless battle. Yeah. Now, it's interesting. There's the map of ransomware attacks. Oh, from the one I was looking at, I apologize, listeners, was from 2018 to mid-May 2022. But if you look at just the number of attacks on schools in 2021, just that year, there are several states that didn't have any. But yes, New York was hit by 7 attacks. So a couple different graphs that seems like they could have found a way to combine, or whatever they wanted to do.
It's always funny. There's a subreddit. No, I'm sorry, a Twitter channel, or Twitter, what do you call it? A Twitter account called Useless Maps, I think.
Oh, yes, I think I do follow that one.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. There's just maps. Like, for example, it'll have like Australia is red and the rest of the planet is like white, and it'll say a number of countries named Australia.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It's just dumb stuff like that.
Yes, I enjoy that dumb stuff.
I do as well.
Well, this bonus odd take after that lovely ransomware story is something I heard about on MacBreak Weekly. Now, Alex Lindsay, one of the hosts there, he does a ton of 3D scanning of objects, and they do recreations and modeling. He does a ton of video stuff, but he shared this one. It is the great name, Scanned Objects by Google Research.
They need to get the government in there and make an acronym for that.
Yeah.
SOGR.
SOGR. But what they did is it is just common household objects that they put a lot of time into 3D scanning, and you can actually download the files. And I believe, I'm trying this in real time, if it'll let me download, that on like Mac, you can open these models in like just the preview program, which doesn't seem to be working.
I'm going to try one. It's this puppy dog toy.
But they have some fun stuff like the VTech stack rings, like the little baby toy with the monkey where you stack the rings up. And I thought I had been able to, you can press back on the website, you can press, there's a little 3D button and you can turn it into the 3D and you can move the object around and you can rotate. Whoa, and I just threw it off the screen.
Careful now.
Yeah. Oh, you can go full screen with it. Okay, the rest of the episode is going to be me playing with 3D objects.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see it now. Who needs to download it when you can just move it in your browser?
But you can get in there pretty close and you see a lot of detail on these things. So it's really cool just to see. This guy, Alex Lindsay, and I agree with him, believes that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this type of stuff with the 3D modeling and the augmented and virtual reality.
He brings it up every chance he can.
Yes.
He is a super fan
all in
of this technology.
And
I agree with him. You've got your fancy Apple AR glasses that are superimposing things over the world.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you want the building that you're looking at to be superimposed with some type of schematic or maybe the skeletal structure of the building or whatever. Yeah. All those things are going to be 3D AR objects. And if we don't start building them now, then we're going to be waiting a long time to see things like that.
And we've got access to them now, or a lot of household items like the Rexy glove, heavy duty, or the Razer Taipan, some mice, computer mice. They just went through their house and whoever this was and scanned everything. You could tell a lot about, if it was one person, a lot about their life. And what kind of objects exist in that house.
I'm sure it was more than one person.
Yes, because there was a lot of, they also buy a lot of video cards, it looks like, a lot of kids' toys, so they do have young children.
There's cool dinosaurs, which are pretty awesome. They're just toys that were scanned in.
Yeah, bells and baskets and everything. But anyway,
when I finally get my 3D printer, I could take one of these files and
you could print some shoes.
I guess. It might be a little uncomfortable, but I could do it.
Yeah.
Don't
Very
tell me
interesting.
What I can and cannot print.
Yeah, so definitely check out the link in the show notes. And I know it makes for great pod when we describe physical or visual things. Oh, I found Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo if you go down far enough.
Wow, everything. And there are all kinds of these 3D repositories all over the internet for like 3D printing and stuff. But this is one I've never heard of before. So.
Yes, and it is very much just household objects that. So if you're trying to create a home in 3D and need a bunch of objects, you do not need to scan. You can go here and get your Nesquik can and your Nips box to put into your 3D created home, your virtual home for the metaverse. For the metaverse, Dave.
Yes, if all these things were in the metaverse, it would just be amazing.
God, you just scroll forever in this thing. I can't. Oh, I finally made it to the bottom. Jenga.
You need to stop, Nate. I'm gonna have to have an intervention here. You're stuck in a loop here.
Stuck in a loop. Well, you know what's not stuck in a loop? Our picks of the week.
So remember earlier about, 15 minutes ago, we were talking about web browsers.
Yes.
There's a problem with my iMac at work. This is kind of it's becoming a vintage iMac. It's a 2015 or something like that. 2015 iMac. I don't know what I did to it. I just need to wipe it and reset it to factory, I guess. But certain things, specifically browsers, tend to hang. You leave that you're working on the computer, they're working fine, but you step away and you come back a couple hours later, the browser's like locked up, and then the computer gets locked up, and you got to restart the computer. It's one that I connect to remotely a lot, and I can never connect to it because the stupid computer's locked up. So I've been experimenting with different browsers, seeing if I can solve my problem. And those Mac users out there would say, Dave, just use this built-in Safari web browser. It doesn't happen with Safari, I'm sure. To which I would say, I have to use a browser that has different profiles.
Yep.
I have to.
Yep.
And I'm not going to use different browsers for every account because I got like 13 accounts that I manage.
Yes.
So I have to have profiles. Chrome browsers have profiles. And Brave is based on Chromium. Chrome is based on Chromium. Guess what else is based on Chromium? Microsoft Edge browser. Mm-hmm. And so I thought, well, I'm going to try this dude out. And I will say that I have really enjoyed the fit and finish of this. It's like the Brave browser, but like professional people made it. Microsoft,
Yeah.
Good people who have billions of dollars worth of resources to really make it a nice experience. And some of the things that I like about it, one is the aesthetics. In order to synchronize your browsing history and bookmarks and all that stuff across computers, you just simply create and log into your Microsoft Live account. I have an existing one. And you would sadly need to set up one of those for each of your separate accounts. Mm-hmm. If you use Chrome, you just sign in with your Google account. Most of mine are Gmail, so Chrome makes the most sense. But Chrome is notorious for just bloating up the computer, using all your RAM, doing all this stuff. And so Microsoft Edge browser, they have a few things that kind of put it in between the Brave browser and Chrome. Like I said, it's produced by a big company, but they also have considered security options. Somewhere that Google and their Chrome browser, they want to suck up as much information about you and everything around you as possible because that's their business model. Microsoft, now, who knows what they do on the back end with all their servers and all that stuff, but they do have settings built for like basic security, medium security, or like super lockdown security. They have, you can turn off ad tracking and all that stuff, which I think in the Chrome browser, you'd probably have to have third-party extensions installed to turn off some of that ad tracking. It's built into Edge. And then they also have this thing, and the name is escaping me, but it's typo, where if you want to go to Nike.com and you spell it Nice for some reason, that's nice, I guess, but it knows about those typo squat. I think it's typo squatting or whatever. It has protection against that. So if you're trying to get to your like healthcare provider or your bank and you mistype it, they have stuff built in to kind of know. They have databases of these typo squatting websites that try to trick you into think that you really went to KeyBank when you went to KeyBank.us or something like that. Anyway, so I like their kind of security first or security forward features. I like the aesthetics. And so I've kind of switched on a couple of my computers and on my iPhone. Oh, and the last thing about Brave is we have another computer at work. They update the browser about every 15 minutes, it feels like. You turn it on and it's like there's an update. And if your browser is running and it issues an update, it causes problems on your computer. I typically have to click update, I have to quit the browser, sometimes I have to restart my computer. Well, this particular computer is running some of our video cameras. So when it locks up, you have to basically restart the computer to get access to your cameras again. So it's not very stable. And it works good in the Chromium browser. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I don't want to have the bloat of Chrome. I don't want to have the instability of Brave. So I might put Microsoft Edge browser on that computer and see how it fares. So anyway, don't be scared to try it, people. It works really well. And I would say if you're on PC, why not? Yeah,
it's already there if you've got a newer computer. So I definitely have started recommending that to people because it's and I will tell people a quick sidestep pro tip.
Wow.
Sorry, future Dave. There's somehow on PCs, it's one of those things, there is a Wave browser, WAVE, and the logo almost looks kind of similar to Edge, but I see people have installed this all the time, and it's not a great browser, but there's some ad they click on or something that they're doing where it installs this browser. So just remember, stay away from Wave, even though it looks like Edge, and use Edge or whatever else you want to use. But
I'm not saying change what you're doing, but if you're on the search,
yes,
the Edge browser, I haven't really used it much on PC, but for Mac and iOS, it's really clean and really stable.
Yeah, I like it on. It's been the habit of most people for a very long time that as soon as you get a computer, you download Chrome and you use Chrome for everything. And I just don't really think that's necessary anymore. I would say on Windows, stick with Edge. On Apple, if you need, or Brave browser, you earn the cryptocurrency, which isn't worth a lick anymore.
And that's another thing. The Brave and their free crypto was really nice, but now that crypto's in the tank, it's like, what are you bringing here besides crashing my computer every 3 days?
Yes, indeed. So Edge might be the recommended way to go, especially if you need the multiple profiles, because like you, I could not live without multiple profiles in my browser.
I've tried it just through Safari, and it is a nightmare. I just can't do it.
Yes. Well, my pick of the week this week, it's something that we talk about often, and I have a reason. My family last Friday evening went to the Tigard Festival of Balloons.
Yes, I considered going to that, but did not, as every year since time immortal.
Yes.
Oh, I should go to that, and I never do it. Oh, that was last weekend? Shoot.
Yes. Now, you might be thinking, and it's based on hot air balloons. Now, you might be thinking we went to see hot air balloons. Well, we wouldn't have minded that, but we did not see a hot air balloon because if you look at the schedule, you have to go between, I think it's 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning. They'll do a morning flight if the weather cooperates, or after the sun goes down, they will do in a field. They'll blow them up and kind of do the flames and light them all up and stuff like that. So we didn't see any hot air balloons, but we did walk around to all the booths, and there was a T-Mobile booth there, and I was like, let's at least walk over. It looks like they got some swag. And I did pick up a sweet pink T-Mobile can koozie, which I collect. If you're ever looking for a gift for me, not you, Dave, but our listeners, the can koozies. But they had, socks and a fan, paper or cardboard fan that I got. But the guy was it was actually a big truck, trailer thing. And the guy was leaning over, and I was like, hey, can I grab some stuff? And what do I have to do to get a koozie? He said, with a mustache like that, you can have a koozie. And I said, well, that's why I have it. Free koozies.
Occasionally I get a koozie once in a while. It's worth all this maintenance.
Yes, but I said, we're customers already. I said, I actually do a tech podcast, Not Nerd. We talk about T-Mobile all the time. I've probably gotten so many people to switch over to T-Mobile. And he goes, oh, yeah. You know about our Refer a Friend program? And I said, no, I do not. And so I grabbed a card. So now, if you go to notnerd.com/T-Mobile, you will get the referral fee and help support the Not Nerd podcast. But yeah, I mean, I am very happy with T-Mobile. I was looking at their pricing plans because the plan that me and my wife are on is $100 a month. It's flat even every single month for 2 lines of unlimited. And I think we each get 10 gigs of mobile hotspot.
Yeah.
Yes, which... Actually, they'll let you do the low data version after that, but between some of my DJing and my daughter being on devices, I have run out of that. So I went to look at their phone plans. So currently, let's just say you're a family of 4. For their Magenta Max is $170 a month, and that gives you all the benefits with 40 gigs of high-speed mobile hotspot. The Magenta plan, which I think is what equal to what we're on. So it looks like their prices have gone up a little bit, or that's $140 for 4 people. So that's only $40 more to add 2 more people than what we've got. And then they have the Essentials, which is a little cheaper at $105 per month and a little more limited. But I do also want to remind people, I know we've mentioned this in the past, but there might be some new people in this category since we last mentioned it. They do have a 55 plus program where you get a discount
getting close.
if you're almost there. So the Essentials plan for 2 people on the 55 plus is $55 a month. And they also have a military and veteran plan. Thank you for your service, and a first responder plan for some discounts. So they have those plans for any of those special groups, but even their pricing, now you can find there are some other ones, the Cricket or some of those plans are a little bit cheaper, but I've been really happy with T-Mobile, and they do have, for most of their plans, you get the Netflix on Us, which I need to try to sign up for since I canceled my Netflix, and I should have been getting it for free through T-Mobile anyways.
Yeah, I keep in mind, though, that is for the standard definition. You might want to pay the $3 extra, and that's what I currently do, is I pay a few dollars a month and get the HD version, so I'm not really paying for Netflix. They're going to start showing ads anyway. So
yes. On the Magenta Max, I'm looking at the full details. You get Netflix on Us, standard 2 screens HD, Apple TV Plus for a year, Paramount Plus for a year, and up to 4K UHD video for video streaming quality, in-flight stuff. The international, remember when I went to Uganda and I was able to use my T-Mobile phone plan over there.
I've used it on a flight before that supported it for free.
Oh, and I've never seen this. Maybe it's not on my plan. 1 year of AAA membership on them.
Oh, yeah. That's new. Tyler told me about that.
Oh,
I need to sign up for that.
Yeah. So they've got a lot of benefits on it, and we have had some stories where there's some weird stuff with T-Mobile or this or that, but
nobody's perfect.
Yeah, they're no different than any of the other cell carriers. So I wanted to make that a pick of the week, somewhat self-serving, because now we've got the referral code, and I'll have a link in the show notes to that. But if you have any other questions on T-Mobile, definitely let us know. And what plan are you currently on, Dave?
I'm on the Magenta, and some friends of ours are also on the plan, and we currently have 7 people on our plan, and it's $246 a month, unlimited texting, unlimited data. If you are a super high user, like over 50 gigs a month, they may cut it down, and we get the same free mobile hotspot for like 10 gigabytes, and then it slows down after that. So do the math real quick. What is that? 246.50 divided by 7. Did I say 7 people?
Yeah.
$35 a month per person. So that beats your plan at $50 a month per person.
Yeah.
So if you add on people, you add them on for $10 a month, and you can just keep getting that plan less and less and less.
Nice. Well, yeah, if there's anybody out there that wants to join our plan, we're more than willing to split that up. Or if you're under or over 55 or military and veteran, want to adopt us onto your plan, let's talk. Let's work together.
Totally.
Let's be a community, the Not Nerd community, come together for cheaper, excellent cell phone service.
And they'll be like, now, excuse me, you have 250 people on your line?
Yes.
Which one are you? It's Dave, but not that Dave.
Dave. Dave B, not Dave C or Dave D.
Right.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, so that is my pick of the week, T-Mobile. If you're on a plan, you feel like you're paying too much, you probably are. I know Verizon has great service, but they tend to be pretty expensive, and I think
So
AT&T is as well. But yeah, I like T-Mobile, and I like it if you sign up with my code.
Yeah, and the disclaimer is not all parts of the country and or world have good T-Mobile service.
Yes.
If it doesn't work in your area, of course, go with your local carrier.
Yes, and they did acquire Sprint, so their coverage has gotten better, and they are working on There are some random spots where I go where I have insanely fast 5G speeds with my 5G iPhone.
Yeah, I think I have it right here at my house.
Yes,
5G Ultra. Whatever.
Yes. UECG chips. Chips Ultra
UC is what mine says.
Yes, but
anyway, this isn't a commercial for T-Mobile.
No.
So.
Well,
you're just trying to get somebody to use your referral.
I know,
link.
just one person, please.
We've invested a lot into this.
Yes.
For your referral.
Yes, and before I go any further, we should wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for listening. Please share it with a friend. Share the T-Mobile code with a friend. Share my family's plan with a friend of T-Mobile. Okay, I'll stop. Yeah. But no, we enjoy all the listeners. Please ask us questions, call in with pro tips, picks of the week, all that good stuff. And we will talk at you later and let you get out there and tech better.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't get that email where you called me and said, "What's your referral link?" So you can put yours up there too.
We'll share it.
Thanks a lot.